Welcome to the Coach Speak podcast, built for coaches, by coaches, hosted by Jamie Bolton and Dustin Martin. Sponsored by Ray Crowther, providing the nation's best athletic training equipment since 1932. And R4 Football Systems. Accelerate everything by decoding the game.
Hey guys, welcome back to Coach Speak. Dustin Martin here with Jamie Bolton. We have a returning guest speaker tonight, one of our favorite guests, Coach Ian Tatum, and we're excited to pick his brain, have a little late season pre-playoff check-in. But before we get started, I want to shout out to our sponsors, Team Builder and Tsunami Bar Sports.
Yeah, guys, welcome back to Coach Speak. Man, we're bringing you the best minds in high school football. And today we got a returning guest, Ian Tatum, the run game guru himself. We got Coach Tatum. Welcome back to the show.
Hey guys, appreciate you having me back. I guess I'm doing something right and I get invited back. So, yeah, I'm glad y'all are going through like the season, right? It's kind of keeping up with, what y'all doing down there in South Carolina, and you're getting to see, y'all's check-ins. I was talking to Dustin a little bit. I love to see what y'all are doing and getting up to. And y'all have had some great guests on. So getting to get back on here has been a blessing.
Well, you're one of them, man. You got one of our top episodes, and people want to hear from you, man. So we can't keep the people waiting, man. They want to hear how your season's going, I'm sure, and we do too. So, but yeah, Coach Tatum's got his squad rolling, and we're getting close to the end of the season, and really kind of talking about the end of the season, kind of as we get into the playoff run. But Coach, before we dive into scheme, what's the vibe in your locker room right now, kind of heading to the end of your season? You got 3 games left, right?
Yeah, so 3 games. Like I said a little bit before, senior night this Friday. It's kind of a lull, and I hate to say that, but that's kind of the vibe right now because we played Reidsville and we lost. Unfortunately, that was our one loss for the year. Lost to them, and then we're supposed to play our next opponent the next week, and then weather got in the way, and some mix up with our AD, and it's the whole situation. We didn't get to play the game. And so we did get to make it up. So we're only playing 9 games this year. So, and then we played another team the next week, and then we had our bye week. So we only played 1 game in like 20 something days. So that's been kind of getting the guys motivated, getting the guys, staying up, because kind of had 2 bye weeks, almost back to back. So kind of getting guys, rolling, but it's been good. Had a great week of practice. Like I said, senior night coming up, getting the last ride with those seniors at home for the last time regular season. And when I first got to Walkertown, these seniors were sophomores. So it's real emotional for me. I told my wife, I said, she's like, "You're not a real emotional person anyway." I was like, "Yeah, but you want to see me ball like a baby, come to a senior night," especially when I have those strong relationships with those kids. Yeah. So, not looking forward to it at all, but the game obviously, but then the beginning part, getting hugs and all that stuff. But yeah, getting into it, man. 3 weeks left. Kind of get rolling. Get a playoff push. I listened to y'all's episode this past week and talking about setting that kind of a standard for playing late, right? Playing late in the season. The basketball coach, he'll be fine. You tell the guys all the time. But we say all the time, when the ball starts dribbling and it gets colder outside, it's something you got to contend with. And our guys do a great job. They know, hey, I got the whole winter and beginning of spring to get out there and do that. And so yeah, getting this playoff push, and hopefully we get to host a playoff game.
No doubt, man. And it's funny because like the basketball coach at Rock Hill, he's great, man. He's at every game. He's on the sideline. Every day we walk to practice, he has like duty. He's standing there. He looked at me and Jamie yesterday. He said, "Man, that defense looking good, boys. Y'all better keep it up this week." But man, he's awesome, man. But you talked about having a almost 21 days off in between games. There's a possibility that happens to us in the playoffs if we seed out the right way, because we have a week 10 bye. The top 1 through 4 seed gets a first round bye. So it'd be 20 days between our last regular season and our second round bye, or second round game, because we get a first round bye. And that's actually what Rock Hill dealt with last year. And I even think it was maybe another week, because there was like an extension of the season due to the hurricane. So it was 4 weeks almost. So, man, it's such a battle. I mean, look at the college football playoff last year. The top 4 seeds all lost. They all lost after the bye. And it's like, so we definitely get that, man. And I understand. And we, man, I know you're a humble guy, but I was just checking it in on you. And man, you're averaging like 45, 46 points a game, coach, man. That's got to feel good. And I'm sure you're throwing the ball a little bit, but man, just knowing who you are, I know you're dialing some run game stuff up. And man, I'm excited to get in that in a little while.
Yeah, we are. We got a really good quarterback, senior kid. He came to us this year, and real humble kid, really waited for his shot, and came to us and has been balling, right? And so it was just straight up leader, something that we didn't have last year. But yeah, we're going to still run the ball, and especially with this group, like I said it before, but this offensive line group is like, those are like my kids. Like those are the ones that they were. All 5 were my JV kids when I first got here, and they're all still together as seniors. So, they're not the biggest. I call them the Rugrats. Like we're like a wing T offensive line, but we get after. They're tough and nasty. The trench mob. I got a shirt on, trench mob. So, we get after it, man. We just fed them Bojangles yesterday.
Heck yeah.
So, because we played Bartlett Yancey, and then we had a bye week, so we didn't feed them over the bye.
Hang on, coach. Hang on.
I know what you're about to say, Dustin.
Jamie calls me every day at lunch, and probably 8 out of 9 days in a row, I'll hear Jamie's like, "Yeah, man. So I'm thinking this. Hang on one second." It's like, "Welcome to Bojangles. Would you like to try?"
It's got the automated. It's got the automated. It pisses me off though. The automated thing because it asks for like 6 different things, and I'm like, "No, thank you." No, and I'm actually saying, I'm actually really polite to the AI voice, but like I'm like, "No, thank you, no, thank you." But nah, it's Bojangles, man. We need to be sponsored by them.
Hey man, Cajun filet biscuit and some bow rounds is undefeated.
Man, I'll sometimes get it twice a day, y'all. I got breakfast this morning, and I drove. And I was like, I got to go get some lunch. And I was like, should I stop by Bojangles again? I was like, nope. I'm gonna go to Subway.
What's it?
That was right. Had to get some Subway today, but
yeah.
Oh man. Hey, but before we get back to segment 1, guys, big shout out to our friends Tsunami Bar Sports. They are big innovators behind this variable resistance bar technology that changes the way athletes train for power and speed. Whether you're a coach trying to develop explosive linemen or building players that are fast, they have a lot of burst. Tsunami Bar Sports has you covered. We use it ourselves, and our athletes love it. Head over to TsunamiBarSports.com and see why the best coach in the country trusts Tsunami Bar. Tell them Coach Speak sent you. So segment 1, Coach, really kind of talking in the season check-in, but one question that came to my mind was like, when is the ideal bye? Because we have a week 10 bye. For you
Great
guys,
question.
Did you guys have one earlier in the season? I'd like to hear your take on that.
Yeah, so ours was, I guess it's considered later, because it was last week. So it was like week 7, I believe. In my opinion, the best bye week is right after conference or region, right? Like right before that, excuse me. So right after your non-conference. So yeah, for us, we have 4 non-conference games. So in an ideal world, which is what we did last year, we had 4 non-conference games, go bye week, then go to conference. Mm-hmm. I prefer that. I know some people, they don't like it be that early, or they would rather, man, it matches up be after a big game or before a big game or whatever it is. Yeah, I prefer, before you get into that conference slate, you can kind of get rested up. Like, hey guys, this is the second part of the season now. You have your preseason, you have your first part of the season, you have going into the second part of the season. So for me, I would say that right there before you get into conference.
Yeah, I like that too. I think that's the best part. We had it at Kings Mountain both years. It seemed like we had like 3 non-region or non-conference. And then, man, we had that bye. And really it helps you kind of obviously analyze and assess where you're at. You get to figure out, okay, let's take a breath here. Let's do some analysis, and then gives you that week if you need to work on something specifically. That's, for us, man, we're like 10 straight games. And so
that's crazy.
It's really difficult to take a breath. We had a pretty tough non-region. And then our region is like, everybody is like right there. I mean, everybody's winning within a score or two, a score or two really. So it's been kind of hard, but I think I like the rhythm. I mean, I will say that you get in a good rhythm. You don't have we did have an intercession week. So we do I will say I like that. We have a week where our school is not in session for a week. I guess it's like a modified year round. And that was kind of like a mini bye because you kind of get that mental break. but we practice in the morning. We're out of there by 12. Kids get to go home and relax. So that was kind of like a mini bye for us. So that kind of helped us. I think that was last week, wasn't it, Dustin? Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah, and I would say when it comes to bye weeks, I don't know if there's a week specific that I would say, but I do think there's too early and too late. I think anywhere mid to 3/4 in the season's good. And in a perfect world, if you have 6 conference games that matter, I'd say right in the middle of conference. So play your first 2 or 3 and then have a bye. You get rejuvenated, finish the conference 2 or 3 games and then hit the playoffs. But, I just think as long as it's not too early or not too late. I know when we played in high school, week 0 was our bye. And we played tough. 1 through 10. So it was rough. But now that we're on that page, let's go a little bit further. Let's get in and talk about what do you think a bye week's used for? What's too much or what's too little? Do you give the kids a day off, Monday off or Friday or what? So let's get in that. I want to hear some thoughts. Coach Tatum, you're up first, man. We're going to put you on the spot since Jamie, great question to kick this episode off. So that's a good one.
Yeah. So we just came off the bye, so it's pretty fresh. So, things we've done in the past versus what we do right now. Like for right now, we go 3 days. We go 3 days that week. Like we go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we give them Thursday, Friday off. I know some people, they give them that Monday off, but I'm like, if we're at school on Monday, we might as well go to practice, right? So, we just go ahead and let's get it going, give them that Thursday, Friday. It's kind of like that JV varsity, like they're both not there. But then, what you're using the bye week for, is 1, to get healthy, and 2 is to work on you. Like there is no opponent, obviously. So, hey, sometimes you need that's refresher. Hey, maybe, we got too focused on an opponent. Like we went straight install, or we went straight game plan. Hey, we need to work on us. Like we need to go back. Maybe it's a little longer indie. Maybe it's more, your group sessions instead of your team stuff. Cause I think we maybe went a team session once in the bye week, right? It was a lot of indie. It was a lot of half line stuff, and it was a lot of inside 7-on-7. And we didn't really do a lot of team, on the offensive side. So work on those fundamentals. It's almost like camp, right? You are straight up, it like minus the install, it is straight. It's like almost like camp. So it's really hammering home all those minute details and kind of like rejuvenation. Like, hey, let's remember this is the way we do things, and this is how we practice, and this is how let's get energy up. We're gonna have an opponent. Like we gotta go hard for these 3 days. We'll lift them. We'll run them. Like it's almost like it is camp or summer workouts. And then, they that Thursday, Friday. So, kind of get them, shot the system, work on the fundamentals, and then get back to it the next week.
Yeah. And not to mention it. Another thing that you got to throw in there is 2 considerations. Do you have a football class with all your players where you can do it in the class and then everybody's home after school? And then you also have to consider, what do we do with the JV kids? What I mean? If that's a big factor, when you brought that part up, it's like, what do we do with them? Me personally, the last 2 bye weeks I've had was at Cannon, and in private school, it's a little bit different. Your bye week is class trips. So the kids leave on Wednesday to go on a class trip with their class. So you may do like an hour practice on Monday and Tuesday, and then they're off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So when I first got there, I was like, Jamie told me about that. I was like, man, this is crazy. And Jamie said, I'll be honest, like
it didn't hurt us.
It didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt a thing.
It didn't. And honestly, it helped us because we always played Providence Day before that. So we needed that extra week to handle it. But, just thinking off the dome, I would probably say if I had the class, we wouldn't do probably anything after school. I'd try to do everything in the class and give the kids time after school. But if we didn't have the class, I would probably be a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday guy. If I had to guess, not saying we'd take Monday off, but physically we would take Monday off. We'd get a lift in, maybe, spend the rest of the day watching film on our previous game. But like you said, Coach, definitely keep it about us. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to look like spring practice. It's going to look like install. It's going to look like, hey, here's our analysis up to this point. How can we get better? And what do we have to turn on before the games start back? And then Fridays, I'd probably just give the kids off for a long weekend. That's what I'm thinking. What about you, Jim?
I think just thinking about it, like I would probably alternate days. I'd probably do like a day in the weight room and then really lift heavy, or not heavy, but definitely put a little bit more volume in the weight room. And then on the next day, don't lift, but practice during that period. So even if you have to go a little bit in the afternoon after school, I would do that. And then I would lift the next day and then practice the next day, and then probably, something like that. That way our coaches can get home early, players can get home early, but you're still getting the high volume in the lift, and then you're getting your practice in. I really like deep diving that weekend before to deep dive into like, hey, position group coaches, like let's really get into the nitty gritty of like what we need to improve, and let's have a plan that week to really attack that. And then as a coordinator, you want to know like where are your, deficiencies? What do we got to improve on? And also gives you an opportunity to maybe you want to expand something. Maybe there's some layers to what you've been doing well, because now you're like, okay, what can we do to protect these looks? As we kind of move forward, where you may not have had that time, in the weeks leading up. So there's a lot of ways to do it, but yeah, I
Also,
think definitely getting that mental break.
Another reason it matters when your bye week is, because those
100%.
deficiencies you're talking about, we need to fix.
Would you rather have
week
it
4,
like,
5, or 6, not week
right?
9?
Would you?
No.
All right, if you had to have it weeks 1 through 3 or 7 through 10, which one would you take?
7 through 10.
I would too.
Yeah.
I'd like to have it later than early.
Yeah, because like you've played, 2 games, right? I'm like, okay, well, what are we gonna look at? All right, we ran,
We're not great at
100
anything
plays.
right now.
Yeah, we've played,
Exactly.
we've run maybe 100 plays total on offense. Like what are we looking at?
We're going to continue
I
to try to
agree.
block, catch, and tackle, because we still ain't no good at it because we're only 2 weeks in. Yeah,
exactly.
No,
Great
man.
point. Oh
Coach,
man.
man, you're calling the offense. You're the OL guru, man. You're having a great season. Y'all still have 3 games left, but if you play up to the potential that I know y'all can, you're going to be going deep in the playoffs this year. So what has kind of been the biggest growth area that you've seen, maybe from week 0 or week 1 up until this part in the season?
I'll say I'll say multiple things, but first is my offensive line. I have we have had injuries and we've had different rotations all year. That's why my head coach is like, it. I wouldn't want to have Tatum's job, having to figure out what combination, this and that. Because I think I've had maybe 2 weeks where I've had the same combination. And it's been like one guy here, one guy there. But it feels like I get this guy back, this guy, something happens to him, or this guy finally comes back, I get the combination I want, now this happens to this guy. So it's really been something right after the other. But I've had a core 4 the whole time, but kind of just seeing them go from, I only have 1 starter coming back, right? From last year. And so now this year it's those guys that were kind of the backups last year, and now like they're taking that role as being the starters. So now seeing them come together and being the guys has been a huge, just it's been great for me to see, and just see those guys that were, like I said, as sophomores were they were the line. Now as seniors, they're still together, and kind of seeing, we talked about before, like how that carryover with offensive linemen. Definitely have seen that, like, hey, back 2 years ago or last year in a practice, and just seeing those guys like, hey, coach, I remember when we talked about this, we just went out on the field and we saw that same look and we just executed, right? And that was just kind of was mind blowing to me, that kind of hung on to those things. And then I would say our downfield passing, just the kid we have in at quarterback, like that has really developed. I feel like he's a better he's better with his ball security, right? And he can communicate with the guys, like they almost have a second language out there, right? If they see something he likes, he has free reign, like he's very, very smart to check something, and then and ready to roll with it. So kind of seeing like that maturity come out in the next layer of the offense has been great. But yeah, that's 100%. Like it's just been really good to see. And we have an H-back that is totally blown up our run game. Like he's a smart kid. Like I kind of was funny. I was watching our episode from last time, and what we talked about was like the splits and where the guys line up, and he's just super smart about, hey, I'm gonna line up here, I'm gonna line up there, I'm gonna break a tendency here. Like, you don't have to call formation. Like, if we have the stiff on the right, you might call power, right? If I put him on the right and split him across, he's good at that, and he'll just do it himself. and I know exactly what he's doing, and we'll break tendencies that way. So that's just kind of taking our offense to the next level as well.
Yeah, it makes a difference when your kids understand your offense well enough to make adjustments on their own. And we've had something similar. Like we've had multiple, I don't know, lineups at OL, and they're all like super young, no varsity kids, so they don't even know what they can do well. We had two different H backs, a couple different receiver sets, multiple quarterbacks, and the good thing is when they're all playing and you all got to work them in, you start to really feel like who's got a feel for the offense and what they're trying to do. And so now I think our lineup is similar to yours. Like we have really smart kids. We transitioned to running back to H back. Well, that's really nice to have because he kind of already knows they're already in those group periods together. He knows the offense really well, and now he's also pretty good with the ball in his hand too. So there's multiple things that are surprising throughout the season, and I'm sure defensively too, Dustin. I mean, on your end, what are some surprises for you or some things that you may not have expected?
Yeah, I think two things that I've seen the biggest growth in. One is complementary play between the defensive position groups. So I think early on, when you try to have a certain sophistication to a defensive scheme, if everything doesn't fit perfectly like a puzzle, you can have some catastrophic mistakes. And I think early on, as a collective group of D linemen, linebackers, and DBs, there wasn't a grasp of why it's so important for me to do it this way. Because if I don't, I leave this position group out to dry. So I would say complementary play between position groups on the defense side of the ball. And I think that is also, for the second thing, football IQ. These kids on defense, they knew a little bit, but there's a lot they didn't know. And shout out to Coach Ron Parker. He played in the league. Kansas City is my safeties coach. One of the best I've been around on the defensive backside. And he gets it and he understands it, man. He's an awesome guy. And he came up to me, he said, man, these kids starting to learn some football, coach. He said so. We were just talking about some new things we put in last week, and it's just like, man, their IQ is growing. Like I will just throw something at them. Hey, if I send you here and do this, what do you have? And he's like, oh, I got to peel because I'm blitzing on the side of the running back or whatever it may be. But man, that's why I'd say where I've seen our growth. It has been a huge for us.
Yeah, coach. So where did you see, you had a bunch of new kids. You had no real returners, new quarterback, it sounds like. Were there any moments this year where you found like your team identity, or like when was that moment? You're like, this is who we are. Or was it like, this is who we're going to be. Let's grow them to that. Where'd y'all fit into that?
I think it was a little bit of, this is who we are. Right. And, cause when you have kids that are new or kids that are young that are kind of taking that next step to be starters, they're kind of like, they're just accepting to whatever you're going to bring them, right? And so, we're gonna hang our hat on this. These are our core principles, and this is what we're gonna roll with. And they're like, well, let's do it, right? And so they kind of bought in. And I think, preseason wise, I think it was passing game wise, it was definitely a 7-on-7. In the summertime, we get the new toys out and we get to go out and compete. You're kind of like, dang, well, we got a chance to be actually pretty darn good. And I know it's 7-on-7, but like we got a chance to be pretty good with some of the teams we were competing with and beating. And then as a team wise, that second scrimmage, it was against some bigger schools, some schools from our county. And it is like our county, everybody knows everybody. And so it's, oh, these guys are out here and these guys are getting hyped up and these guys are everybody talked about. And we went out there and just didn't matter. Got smacked them in the mouth and did well in the scrimmages. So that's kind of where I think we kind of hang our identity. Is like, hey, we might not be the biggest. We're fast. We are fast. I can't say we're not the fastest. We are pretty fast. We're not be the best to be the biggest. So we're definitely going to be trying to be the toughest, and we're definitely going to try to outrun you. And so that kind of they bought into that. And then I think, first 2 games of the season, we beat them. We won those games pretty comfortably. But then we played West Rowan, and traditionally they're a historical power in the state at that classification, and they got big kids and they're just tough, right? Tough kids, and we went down there and definitely went toe to toe, right? And went out and I challenged my guys like, hey, their D-line, they're bigger than y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I think like y'all are tougher, right? And so challenge them from that and challenged like our defensive staff, got our guys to challenge, like their offensive line was really good. And it was, they were talked about a lot. Hey, it doesn't matter. Like we have a linebacker that's going to Central. Like he's a dog. But y'all D-line, keep him clean. He's gonna make every tackle. He had like 22 tackles that game. Like it was like we go out there, we gotta just hit these guys in the mouth and be tougher. So and we won that game. But it was not for a lack of us trying to give it away in the third quarter, but that is what it is. We talk about that in a little bit.
High school football, man.
Yeah. But yeah.
Coaches, we all know weekends are extremely busy between self-evaluating and game planning for the next opponent. But it doesn't have to mean long nights buried in film and spreadsheets. With optimum grading, you can cut the grind way down while actually getting better results. The platform streamlines your grading process, gives you cleaner reports, and makes it simple to share feedback with your staff, players, and even college coaches. That means less time on busy work and more time where it really counts, coaching your team, preparing for the next opponent, or even spending those extra hours with your family. Optimum Grading was built by coaches who get the grind and is designed to give you your weekends back without sacrificing the details your players need. More coaching, less paperwork. That's the optimum difference. If you're looking to take your team to the next level and save some time on the weekends, head over to OptimumGrading.com. Schedule a demo and use the promo code CoachSpeak for 10% off.
They've bought into that. I think just that will to prove people like, we might have just come together. It might not be as big, but it doesn't matter. We're going to try and just prove you wrong. I think that's kind of been our identity.
Yeah, I love that mindset.
Year. So I definitely can't wait to get through, in next week after this one is a rivalry for us. Like the school we're playing is like it borders ours, and a lot of kids grew up together. So that'll be another big test of our toughness, not just physical, but our mental toughness. Like, hey, can you block out the noise and can you actually get after this challenge?
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this week as well. We play, crosstown rivals. I saw something posted the other day. It was like, hey, listen, we're only accepting high school league passes. There's no comp tickets, and there's only 7,000 tickets available left. Get them while you can, and it started kind of sitting in a little bit like this is the rivalry that we heard about from so many people, because we worked for so many coaches that grew up in this rivalry. And, before South Point was a thing, it was just these two schools in Rock Hill. So I'm super, super blessed and thankful to be a part of that, but with that being said, you're going against one of the best teams in Rock Hill. And, what's funny is both of the teams we go against in Rock Hill are pretty darn good. South Point, man, best defense I've seen in high school football in a long time. I mean, they held Huff to 14 points. I mean, Huff's got them. Huff's got them on both sides. But, man, and we kind of talk about identity, and something that I've kind of found with the kids at Rock Hill, calling the defense is let them play. Let the kids play. Don't hold them back. Don't overcomplicate it, but also have enough to just let them play that helps protect them. You know what I mean? It's like, we're not going to sit back in one thing, although I think they can handle it from an athleticism and a speed standpoint. But I've just found turn them loose, let them play. And I don't mean turn them loose as in let's blitz everybody and play man. It's just like, take some chances, like run that creeper, run that sim, run that double pressure, sit back in that drop 8, do it all, and to see what the kids can do, because they take the coaching well. But, something that I saw in their eyes, and I may have hit this on the show, is we were playing somebody, and you could tell it was the kids were a little skeptical. Like, can we really play with this team? Can we hang with this team? And the look in their eyes at halftime about, man, if we really just do what the coaches say and we do our technique and our key, man, like we could be pretty good. And then we came out and won the game. But it's just like, that was such a special moment for me. And I think it's because also the coaches are finding the identity and trying to help put the kids in the best situation.
Yeah, I think a big piece of identity that, just in the last couple of years that I've really tried to instill with my kids is our identity doesn't necessarily have to be a scheme. Our identity doesn't necessarily have to be, we are power, or we are quick game, or we are air raid. It's kind of like what Coach Tatum you're talking about. It's like the mindset is a big part of your identity. It's what do you think about yourself, right? And if you think about yourself as fill in the blank, and for me, that fill in the blank has been, let's be the best team from a technical standpoint. Like, let's have the best technique. have the best alignment, have the best of, knowing your assignment and be the best at your technique. Because everything else we really can't control. Can't control how big you are. Can't really control how strong you are. I mean, obviously genetics and all that stuff, but like we can't control our technique. And a lot of times I was telling our guys today, it's like whenever we do things well, it's not because you're better than them. It's because you played with better technique. And I think that's what we have to focus on. That needs to be our identity. We're going to be technicians. And then the second piece of that is we're going to out physical people, like mentally and physically. Like we're going to be tough. Like you said, that toughness piece is so big, Coach. But I love that you're kind of tying all that in, and kind of resonates with me as well. But
yeah, I think a big piece that helps us with that is like our toughest like period of every day is inside. And so I run inside, and like our defensive coordinator comes down there with his defensive guys, and I'm just straight up like, we just want to whip the other team's like just butt, like I talk to them as like they're the opponent. Like this is not walk out. This is us and them, and my guys buy into that. And I talk crap to the D linemen every day. They know I love them, but I talk crap to them every day. And that just, I know if we can beat our guys, one, it makes us better and it makes them better, because they're going to get us several times like in this pod, and they're going to get us maybe tomorrow. But guess what? I'm going to still be talking crap. I'm going to still be typing my guys up. We're still going to be getting this toughness. And it's just that iron sharpens iron.
I love it.
And I've talked to some people before, like, no, like bulletin board material and media stuff, and do you share that with your kids, like picks and rankings or whatever? I'm like, sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't make up stories that somebody else has said, but I'll definitely throw some things in there. They don't think you're any good. They think that y'all are soft and this and that. And then, and that's usually on teams that we're either even with or maybe a little better. And when we're playing a team that we know we're better than, it is what it is. Like I make the deal. Our D linemen, they're the villains this week. Like it doesn't matter the opponent we're playing. We need to whip these guys, because if we're gonna whip these guys, we're gonna destroy those guys. So yeah, I definitely have done that several times this year. And so I think that builds that mindset that, hey, practices are not a time to like you can't take time off. You just can't. Because why? Because those guys are coming to kick our butt. We got to kick their butt right back.
No brother-in-law.
How much one-on-one do y'all do? Do y'all do a lot of one-on, like good on good?
So like we'll do team good on good, because we have enough guys we can do that. One-on-ones usually is pass pro stuff, pass pro, pass rush. We're really big on that. I'll do those on Wednesdays, and that we'll do one-on-ones. Then we'll go and do blitz pickup. Instead of doing a team, we'll do inside, and then that stuff, pass pro stuff.
More controlled.
So, yeah, more controlled.
One thing I can't stand, man, is like, for example, if we're on defense and we're going against like an untraditional team, like they're running something that's not modern, and we have a specific game plan to try to stop them. And then there's like a competition period of practice. My kids' heads go like for example, we're trying to stop a double tight double wing team that runs like dive option and all that. Then we go to a good versus good period, and Jamie's in empty. My kids are like looking at me like, what are we supposed to do? Like everything just goes out of their mind. But
I think that's good though. I think that's good to keep them like at least in case you get something thrown at you in the middle, like, oh my gosh, these guys are in empty, or something.
Yeah, our D line will do the same thing, because I try to let them have free reign. Like, hey, y'all need to do what y'all do against us, but then I kind of also need a scout look, right? I need, like, if we're gonna go against an odd team, I don't need y'all to be playing, even the whole time. But as well as if we're in sniffer, they'll be over under, and I be scheming up our defensive coordinator back and forth. Like, I know we're gonna set your guys here and there. Where you gonna flip your strength, and I'll be moving my guys. I'll go tight end on the line, and we've put in pin and pull this year, and we've had fun with it. We'll go tight end on the line with our nub stuff, and the defense they'll be straight up. They'll be what they call, like, they have certain calls for things, and they'll have a funky front that our defense is really involved this year. They're going a funky front. I'm like, the team we're playing ain't gonna get into this. We're like, all right, whatever, just. We know our rules, just block it. So I'll be like, we'll get one rep against what our defense does. And I'll be like, all right, guys, they're going to be a lineup like this, like this, like that. And then we'll run it against what we think the
How
team's going
about
to run. So
how about being an offensive coach and trying to like rip a screen at practice, and you got the scout team All-American DL, and it's like
today.
you'll even
had
tell them
one
today
like,
too,
got
like,
mad
hey
today,
man,
dude.
give me
I
a
got
good
mad
pass
today.
rush, give me a good pass rush, and they'll
Yes.
all just step up and just kind of.
I was like yelling out, "Run upfield fast!"
yeah.
And then they're all retracing like they've never retraced before in their life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
we tried to we did our good on good today, and we ended up like towards the end of it, we started to get some subs in, and our backup linebacker is like our third string running back, right? So ended up getting him in, and so we called like just slow running back screen, and like the linebacker knows all the signals, and so like we were calling it, and he's like, I swear I didn't see it, coach. I didn't see it. Like, yeah, sure,
every
you did.
time,
Whatever.
dude.
Yeah, he's just standing there.
Or
It
you
just
run the
happens to
play
be right
over.
there.
It's like, hey guys, let's do this one again. Jet. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
And then like, like you tell a guy, hey man, you really got to block this guy this way or something. You're trying to make an adjustment, and then the defensive guys, they just play it. They're just going there and make the tackle. They're not even playing their responsibilities. I'm like, man,
and they always get so hyped up. And I'm like, man, that ain't happening on Friday night.
Yeah, Jamie cracked me up today. He's trying to get the scout D line lined up, and this one kid like just firmly believes he's in a 3 technique. And Jamie's like, "Get in a 3 technique, son. Get in a 3 technique." He looks around and he looks back at Jamie. He's like, "Son, a 3 technique." He says, "I am, coach." He said, "No, you're not. Dude, you're in a 5. Like, slide in. Like,
B gap, son."
And the guy that's running the defense, bless his heart, he said he was in a 3. The last one, I promise, coach. I promise. Like, no, man, I completely believe you. But it's just funny when you work with kids, man. Like, I've actually done a good job not getting super like mad. Like, I've kind of like calmed down a little bit and just, hey, man, this kid probably has no idea what this is.
I will say, man, coaching on both sides of the ball, I definitely have taken in how much tougher it is for a defense to get a scout look at practice than it is an offense to get a scout look. Because man, like I feel like, not that our scout kids don't give us a good look, but they're doing something completely different some of the times than they ever do. And it's like defense, it's not completely different. You may align differently, you may play a different coverage, but it's like the goal is stop the offense with the ball. You know what I mean? It's like so I the more I'm around the game, the more I'm like, man, it really is. And like, not to mention, if you're going against a team that has very high skilled players, you know what I mean? Like running backs, that's the hardest thing. You know, I remember back when we played Clover a couple weeks ago, like their running back was good, man. He was shifty. He had great vision. It's hard to replicate that at practice because you can't put your ones in from offense. Like you don't want them getting hit up. So, but guys, before we move into the next segment, I want to take time to talk about our sponsor, Team Builder Strength, the platform every strength coach could be using and should be using to build, track, and deliver elite training programs. We use Team Builder for our in-season data and our off-season lists as well. It's efficient, it's customizable, and it's data-driven. Go to teambuilder.com for a free 30-day trial with the promo code CoachSpeak, and we'll even send you an in-season football template that you can plug in today. You can look and see exactly what Jamie does in the weight room in season. You can also find that in our link tree as a free download.
All right, guys. Yeah, so we're getting to segment 2. Really going to be talking about the evolution of Coach's offense and really more of like what he's seen throughout the season. We can all kind of chime in on this too, just how teams have started to play you guys. But have there been a lot of defensive adjustments that you've seen over the course of the year that you were surprised by, or like, hey, we didn't see this on film and now we're seeing it in the game? And if so, how have you prepared for that and really made some in-game adjustments?
Yeah, so really the number one thing, let's just say in the box, has been like the number one check is like go bear. And I haven't really seen that much. Like especially from even front teams. It's usually from odd teams, like, yeah, okay, they'll just bump their ends in and they'll bring a guy off the edge. But yeah, it's just like, oh, they're running on us, go bear. I'm like, okay, well, great. So then we'll do all those bear checks and all that stuff. But coverage wise, not really. It from what we've seen, like they're gonna do what they do, right? If they're a quarters or if they're a 2 high team, they're a quarters team. If they're 1 high, they'll be man or if they're cover 3. That's who they are, right? They're not very multiple. I'm sure when we get in the playoffs, things will change. But we haven't seen that many different adjustments. It really is play bear and blitz. Or if they're not going to bear, they'll just stay in their regular front, and then they'll start bringing guys. Definitely have seen more twists this year. I don't know if it's people thought, hey, word on the street is Coach Tatum's guys are young. Let's try to stunt some dudes. Cool. We still coach over here. So we still work those things. So really it's just trying to do those funky looks. Like we're gonna do some sim pressures, bring some guys out, bring one, not bring somebody, twist a guy, stunt this way, and just really have to hark on, hey, know what gap you have at the end of the day. Like who are you responsible for? You have a gap, not a man. And that's really, and when you're dealing with guys that haven't started a lot of time on varsity, especially in those scrimmages and the first couple of games, they chase, right? And then you might give up some things, and then they get chewed out from Coach Tatum on the sideline, and then they go back and they get right. So definitely that's usually what it is, but I wouldn't say it was that too much elaborate stuff that we're really seeing. It's just, the change, like, hey, go bear, like just throw it at the wall and see if it works.
We haven't really seen a lot of like front adjustment stuff. We've been seeing a lot of run blitz. Like we've been seeing a lot of like a lot of teams don't play base anymore. It seems like I would say the majority of teams that we've played this year will not sit in a 4-2 nickel. They won't sit in like a 4-3. Like it is, we are going to bring pressure and just play zone behind it. It's really kind of strange. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's, maybe they have their own, things, but there's not a whole lot of teams that just sit there and play base and allow their linebackers to read guards and play. And, it's strange, man. Everybody's run blitz and on film, they're run blitz and the other teams too. And it's just, it's kind of wild. That's kind of the trend.
It's the most cover zero double pressured year I've ever seen from multiple teams.
It's crazy.
Man. It's like I'm sitting on the sideline watching Jamie call plays, and I'm like, all right, they're bringing double B 0 again, or they're bringing double C 0 again, and it's like, don't get me wrong, we sprinkle it in, but it's like, good Lord, it's like.
Well, we've had a ton of explosive plays, and it's not. I mean, it's because that's the only thing there. I mean, like you're bringing more than we can protect, and like we're having to get it off on rhythm, and that happened a lot really earlier in the season. That's kind of changed now, but yeah, man, like early in the season, it was young quarterback, I guess. Maybe let's pressure him up and try to play cover zero, and nobody knows the hell. We didn't have any returners, so we ain't got no film.
They know.
It's like also, man, it's like you never know how many coaches they got. You know what I mean? It's like what's the easiest thing to do? Well, let's teach them how to play man coverage, guys, and let's handle every switch and every out and every this. Like, let's play man, and then we'll just send pressure at times to help the DBs out. I think that's some teams' philosophies. And not that this is a bad thing, but maybe that's all they know. Like, listen, we're getting shredded in spot drop 3. Let's just play man. At least we have a guy for
part of it, man. You go zone against some of these teams, and they'll eat you up. I mean, and then you can't get home, and then you're going soft zone, and you're the run game stuff. So maybe it is beneficial.
Yeah, you're early on. Some of our most explosive plays were screens, like would it be tunnels or running back screens. And it's because they're getting a lot of more pressure, and we're just one block away, one missed tackle away from popping one. And then so now we see a lot of man to it. And we've even had some people be like, "Oh, we knew that screen was coming, but we know screens coming." So like they've adjusted to that. Like, all right, well, now we're gonna run crossers because we're faster than you, run away from you. So that definitely pick your poison. But yeah, definitely, they've definitely gotten to the point where, hey, like I think scouting what you do and your tendencies has gotten a little better. I'm sure in y'all's region, like it's huge.
Oh yeah, but it's there was one. We run a particular concept out. We obviously protect our looks, but you always have these tendencies.
Yeah.
And so, regardless if you got like maybe 3 things out of a particular formation, or maybe it's 4 things, they're gonna try to take away whatever. So we freeze call, we move a guy over, and then I could see the coach over there changing the coverage and bringing a blitz like in like a matter of seconds. And so coaching has gotten better, I think. I mean, I think obviously there's so much information. Heck, you do all these clinics to help all these coaches, and it's like you could see it, and maybe there is something to bring a lot of pressure. But it's definitely interesting to see that.
Yeah, we're talking about kind of how defenses have adjusted over the year and countering those looks. Something I've noticed is like we are a super and I'm sure everyone is, but our game plans are tailored specifically to the opponent we're seeing. I'm not a big, well, we did this last week and this is who we are. We're going to do that again. Like, yes, we have an identity. We have a base defense, but you best believe we're going to do what it takes to have the best chance to win on Friday. And I can't tell you how many times this year that our next week's game plan is completely different, tailored to that opponent. And they will try to run a play that was hurting us the week before, and it just falls on its face. And it's like, man, that worked last week because the game plan was tailored to stop many other things they do. And it's like, it's just, it's crazy. You know, it's like, and that's kind of what I've learned is, and everybody, you know, has a little bit of copycat syndrome in them. Like I'd be lying if I didn't say I was like, man, that offensive play was good. We might run that this week. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have to, but man, that's kind of what I see is a lot of offensive guys will be like, oh man, this scheme worked. This play family worked. Like, let's find a way to do it.
I'm guilty of it too. I mean,
why wouldn't you?
It was like,
hey man, we're gonna see if they can stop it this week. I'm with you.
I wouldn't say necessarily a play. I definitely my formation set. If it's something that's different, I'm a big formation guy. I like just different funky stuff. And if a team just couldn't line up to it, oh yeah, I'm gonna see how have you adjusted? Have you done your job? Yeah, and then we're gonna play around with it.
Sure.
But somehow I would ask, are you, Dustin, from a defense standpoint, are you a big analytics, like tendencies report guy in huddle? Like, exactly, hey, right hash, 57 degrees.
So what's funny, what I truly enjoy is one, having coaching friends in the same region. I do enjoy that, or even within the same schedule that you play throughout the year. There's a defensive coordinator that I have. We're not close by any means, but we've talked over the years, and we play each other, and we play the same opponents. And you best believe if we can get a scout team, I'm gonna watch and see what he did and see what did he struggle with against him, and what was his kind of philosophy, And this will come out after our big game this week, but there's a team that I watch and I liked a little bit of what they're doing. And obviously I got to put my spin on it. What do I like to do out of it? And what do I think they did well? And where do I think they could have been maybe a little bit better, and in hindsight. But my favorite thing is having coaching friends that play common opponents and say, I know who he is. I kind of know what he thinks defensively. Let's see what he was trying to do to this opponent. You know what I mean? And that's pretty fun. And I think you can also look at that against people you're playing. All right, I'm going to watch them on how they played these guys. What were they thinking when they called offensive plays? Was, hey, man, we got to establish the run game, or, did that go out the window? But to sum it up, Coach, I am an analytical guy. Our kids know families, coverages, and what we're looking for that week, and
it's important, man. I mean, even on offense, like we'll get, everybody's got to chime in every week on like what they think the defense is going to do. Right. And they're like, man, they blitz all the time, man. They're like 80% blitz, man. I was like, are they 80% blitz? Well, let's break it down by first and second down between the 30s. That'll tell you who they are. Oh, coach, they blitz 8% of the time out of all formations. Well, are they a big blitz team, or are you just watching all third down clips? So just little things like that. Yes. I love solving that. I love kind of solving the puzzle throughout the week to figure out who they are, right? Like, who are you on first and second down in between the 30s? That tells you who they are. And then you do it by family as well. I do the same thing that Dustin's talking about. Like one back, I like trips and spread are two different things, but like the families matter a lot. Like they may blitz a lot more out of, 10 personnel, or they may run blitz more out of, 2 back. So you got to figure out who they are. You can't just say, well, they blitz, so they're a blitzing team. I think that's, I think some guys may do that. I mean,
looks like, and shout out to another one of our sponsors, R4 Football Systems, Dub Maddox. I owe all of that to him. When I went through his 100%. Master course and learned everything, he teaches you in the R4 how to, first off, input data, how to separate the data and actually see the lens of who they are. Because, one thing that I have to remind our DB coaches sometimes, they'll come to me on a Monday, hey man, we really need to work this concept. I agree, coach. They only run that concept in the high red zone. We're going to work that on Wednesday. That's not something we're going to look at on Monday. Man, we really got to watch the boot. We got to watch the fake run, the reverse screen. I agree, coach. That's their favorite thing to do on third and medium. We're going to work that on Wednesday. It's just knowing, like Jamie said, who are they in between the 25s or the 30s, however you do it, and who are they on first and second down? But I think another important part is, okay, do they change when things go wrong, or do they change when things are going right? For example, if you're looking at a defensive coach, all right, hey, they got a false start 1st and 15. Is he going to stay on schedule, or is he going to say, hey, I'm getting ready to make you pay more and try to make you lose more yardage? And I think that's a super important thing. And me personally, I'll admit, I don't have enough time. I wish I had more time to dissect some of that stuff. But hopefully one day we'll get to a point where it's like the week is 8 days long, not 7, and I'll get a little bit more time.
So, Coach, how do you do your week? I mean, how do you break those guys down? If you want to share, you don't have to right now, but like, what are the things that you think about going into like your prep week?
Yeah, so it really is. I break it at different levels. So front, mid, coverage, and in the middle is like how many backers are there, and what their tendencies and where they're blitzing, right? They blitzing all? Shoot, okay, let's figure it out. They're blitzing 2 guys, they're blitzing 1, like where the gaps are they bringing, and then we go from there. So in the columns, I'll put in what the front is, and then I'll put in what the backers are. You call it stack, call it, you put 1 or 2, however many linebackers they have, whatever makes sense for you for, your recognition of what the data is going to tell you. And then where they blitz, what gap, right? I'm big on what gaps are they coming through, where are they trying to attack, right? And of course, it's going to be different. Maybe for me, they might see, hey, your tackle versus a guard might be where we need to go, whatever. Versus the team previously, maybe their center was awful, right? They're going to mug him up and make him uncomfortable. But I do want to know, like, what is their tendencies? Like, all right, if you have a Mike that's going to go A gap like every time, okay, well, he just maybe comfortable going A gap. Okay, so then we just need to make sure that, hey, guards, if you're uncovered, you need to have eyes on that linebacker. So again, front, then we go to the mid area, right, and then we go coverage. And I don't get as elaborate on the coverage as maybe some people do, because especially in our level, you were not seeing too much crazy stuff, right? It quarters 3 man. So that's what we see. Or 0, which is just man. So that's kind of what we do. And then, I'll break it down, by formations, right? If we have on a scout team that we're going through, and they're a spread team like we are, and they're in 10 personnel and 2x2 or 3x1, all right, I'll make, cut ups of those, and then I'll have them all in their families, and then, hey, it's 20 personnel, twins with the sniffer away, and then twins with the sniffer with them, so 3x1. Those are all in there, and I'll go through like, hey, this is what we like. Maybe it's a tight end week, and I'll have that cut up if you see a team that has a tight end clips, and I'll go through and I'll study them per formation family, and that's how I'll build it out. Like, hey, I like these formations. I like, this is what they're going to do. This is their tendencies on, if we're, like you said, 30 to 30, and it's, second down and medium, like, and it's tight end sniffer over here, this is what they're going to bring, their tendencies. All right. So then I'm just charting these things, and this is more reminders for myself of their tendencies like that. So, kind of, I don't try to get too much into the analysis, because at the end of the day, we got to go just kick their butts. And I don't want to be sitting there like, well, the report said that, they're supposed to be here. They're not. What are my eyes telling me in the game? What are we good at? And let's go rock and roll. So,
well, also, what they tailor to do to the teams before you may not apply to you. It's
100%.
like, hey, man, Walkertown, they can run it, man. They have good checks versus pressure. We might be better off versus Walkertown just playing base stuff, man. Because if we hit a run through and we don't make the play, they could score, guys. You know what I mean? And I think that's super important. There was a team that, we played us, and I feel like he blitzed Jamie or send pressure almost every time. And then I watched him against another team, did not see one pressure on the film. And it's just like, it's crazy. But if you're a good coach, that's what you're doing. You're finding out the best chance to give your kids the chance to win. And man,
it's almost like you want to find out enough. You want to find out enough to not be surprised, and to make adjustments.
Yes.
So like we've seen this before. We've talked about this. Like this is an adjustment. Maybe he has enough tendencies across 4, 6, 8 games or whatever it is that we kind of know who he is or who he's been. And in that point, you got enough sample size to figure out, okay, yes, they are who they are, and this is kind of how they're probably going to attack us. So
But
you kind of anticipate it.
I like the way Coach Tatum you're talking about, because the way I think about the way you're talking about it is obviously we need to know what the front is, but where the backers are aligned can also, what you'll notice is when you type it in, and then you'll see the tendency with the coverage behind it. It's like, okay,
exactly,
when the backers are aligned like this, these are the only 2 coverages quarterback they run. You know what I mean? And it's like it gives them the process of, oh, okay, they're the guys head up of the center. I know they're in this family. I'm getting ready to see one of these 2 things.
Harder to disguise linebackers than it is safeties, right?
Yes.
So like now it's like the safeties will kind of lie to you. They can rotate weak, they can rotate strong. The corners can press bail. They can play trap. It could be quarters, it could be 2 read. Linebackers, they're going to tell you a lot. It's what are you going to slide linebackers late? No, you're going to get a nickel to like a 4-3 apex, like at the snap.
And a big thing is, especially like, okay, so if they're going to be a stunt twist team, right? I'm not charting every single stunt and twist and give it a name and they call it this and that. No, but now I need to know, hey, I'll have my DC be like, hey, give me some stunts and twists. Like, I don't care what it is, but I need my guys to see guys cross their face and guys coming in. Correct. And so now we can work those things in our blitz pickup with the guys blitzing down. And in my indie, we're working on picking up stunts and twists and communicating. Yep. So I don't have to know everything you're going to do.
Sure.
I just need to make sure my guys are good on their rules. And they're good with their eyes.
Yeah,
So
and the only reason you would necessarily chart it all, one, if you have the manpower, you can do it. If you don't have the manpower, I've been there. I've not. We're thankful we have a huge staff, so like we do chart it. But the only benefit of that is now you can create a cut up, like of hey, these are the 10 way, pull up all the X weeks.
Well, it's like I'm a big family guy, so like when I was coaching offense. Like, I didn't care if you brought double A or double B or double C, or you brought single A or single C to the field or single. Like, we were going to categorize it as double pressure, double pressure, double pressure. Hey, they're bringing single pressure, single pressure. And then, like you said, the scout team, hey, coach, every other place send 1 linebacker. It does not matter where he goes. Send him in one of these 2 gaps. It doesn't matter how you do it. And it's like, because, again, the defensive coordinator may just feel a philosophy of we want to send 1 guy. And though it may have been this versus this team, we just know he likes to bring 1. So we need, like you said, we need to know our rules to pick up that 1 no matter what we do.
And you got to just know as a play caller when to anticipate that. Like, look, if we got to look at 3rd and 6, okay, they're going to bring a dual pressure. You may want to keep the back in. Yeah. Like, hey, look, they're going to double mug. They're going to bring dual pressure here. If you got 5 in protection, it's probably not, that might not be a great play call.
Yeah.
You may have to, hey, quarterback, you may want to just go and keep the back in on this one and throw in rhythm, whatever it is, so just little things like that. I think as a coordinator, that the kids don't necessarily have to know that 38% of the time on 3rd and medium, he brought a dual inside pressure. They don't need to know all that crap.
Yeah, they don't. Question for y'all, and because I have a different mindset versus offense versus defense, because I think defense has got to have it. Scout cards during the week. Are y'all like? I'm sure Dustin is, but like, Jamie, are you a big scout card guy? Like,
no.
Okay.
No, and I changed that. I used to have. I've gone through a couple things, and I'll keep it kind of short. But like at Kings Mountain, I would pull up like a scout card. So we do it by formations. So we do formation families throughout the week, and so I would say if we're doing 10 personnel form, I would have like 2x2, 3x1. Whatever, empty, whatever. And then I would just have like the defense like aligned to that. And I'll still do that some but Dustin's defense is very, it's kind of what everybody's kind of like. He's got enough in his defensive package that I'm just going to call it what Dustin calls it. So whatever that coverage is and alignment, he's got all that in his package. So it's easy for us to give a scout look for the offense, because I can just say, hey, this is the front and coverage, And then if it's something a little bit different, then we have that conversation. But I always put it on our script. So he has a copy of the offensive script, and I don't go like I used to do it where it was like, okay, this front, this covers this, and then I'll alternate it. But now I just keep it really easy on and simple for the scout team. So for that whole period, we're going to be in one thing.
Yeah.
And then the next period, we're going to be in something different. And so that's given us a better look. We get lined up super fast, and now our practices are a lot shorter because of that. So I hope that answered your question. So we just put it in our defensive terminology. For what do y'all do?
Yeah, very similar. We don't draw scout cards. Now when I was at North Rowan, Pearson was a college guy, and we drew thousands of scout cards. But here, like, we don't, and like we not every practice, but we will wear headsets at practice. I think it's cool. One, it makes things lighter, right? Because you can make jokes like in downtime and transitions. You can joke with the other coaches, and definitely makes the day like it makes it light.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're at work, when you're working, like if you can get like out like Honeycutt, he'll have his headset for head coach. I'm like, hey, tell Coach Douglas of DC, like, give us send the linebacker, right? Send him through the big guy, right? Send him through the big guy. And he'll tell him that. And so we'll get the look we want, and he'll call it on the fly. Like, hey, make sure that the safety gets over top and blitz the corner because we're on the boundary. Like, just something like that.
I like that a lot. We need to do that.
Yeah.
Because I think there's certain times where I can say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just thought about this. Hey, look, we got an RPO right here. I need you to tell the star to do this, or I need the will to do this. Hey, go ahead and bring the mic now. Hey, double C. Like, that might even be even cleaner than me like doing my hands behind the quarterback and like telling the will like blitz, without saying it, and like he doesn't look at me,
Yeah, and then it gets Dustin's communication with his guys on the field.
Yeah,
and all the guys are lined up, and he's working his own communication with those guys. So everybody's getting work. But then obviously defensive guys. I don't know if you're just the scout car guru or not, but
man,
he's got the freaking he's got Coach Pad. Shout out Coach Pad.
Shout out Coach Pad. No, I know Jamie's terminology, man. He's got a couple different things since we've been together back in 18, but I probably know 80% of it. So when I make scout cards, I really try to stick with Jamie's terminology because, one, it resonates with the kids. The scout team players can get better at what we do, even if it's a similar concept. So, for example, Coach, if we see a team running duo is not a huge play that Jamie runs, but I will call the play that it looks like so the kids can work on that play. So it may be like duo right might be zone kick left to us. So I'll tell them just to run that. But
I was
shout out to
Scout
Pro Quick Draw.
Oh yeah, Pro Quick Draw, man. Look at that.
Shout out to Pro Quick Draw.
Nice scout cards, Coach.
None of your play calls are on there, Coach Bolton. I put the two that I didn't know what the call would be, so none of them are on there.
Cool. But yeah, I did some scout team quarterback this week, so I'm a little bit sore. But I was able just to call out, and this week we got a similar offense that we're going against. So it's really easy just to, hey, this is the concept, boys, go run it, that kind of thing. And Dustin's really flexible with that too. Like it's basically like this, or he'll have some leeway because again, for him, it's more of like a family. It's more of like making sure that because they might not come out and run the exact same play, you know what I mean? Like there's some flexibility there where he's going to let his kids, turn it loose and play. And if he's got a scout team that's really comfortable with what we're running, he's going to get the best look he can get. So, and I appreciate that about Dustin.
Yeah.
But, man, it's our kids. And see, the thing is, like, one thing about our program that I will say, we have to get starters off the field in scout team. No, dude, get off, get out. Coach, I want to go get play. No, get out, man. Like we can't, like, I respect it, but like, we're 5A, but we're slim in depth, man. Like if you go down, that's not just receiver, that's receiver and 4 special teams. Get out.
I think that's everybody we play, man. I mean, that's the nature of football now. I mean, you ain't got a whole lot of them. I don't care what classification you are. I mean, but man, it's been a good one, man. Sorry, we're already it's past our bedtime now on game week. Coach, it's been fun, man. It really has. I do want to do a couple rapid fire.
Yeah, let's do 2.
I'll start this one. So what off-season clinics do you anticipate hosting, man? You got those planned out yet, or are you kind of waiting?
Preliminary, like kind of the infancy of a lot of them. I have the O-line one we're going to do in January, and we have the coordinator one we're doing in March. And then I've been talking to some guys since AFCA is in Charlotte this year. I definitely want to do a meetup, get some people that are coming. Like, hey, let's get like a random ballroom that's off the side no one's using, and get in there and let's just like maybe circle up and just talk ball. Kind of organize that. I'm not 100% how it's going to work yet, but definitely want to do that. And then obviously I'll be at State Association Clinic, and I'll be at Glacier in Charlotte and stuff like that, and hoping to. I spoke at Marlboro County last year. Did for their trench clinic. Hope I get invited back. I love doing that. It was really good.
Cool.
I never get to speak. I love hosting and getting things together for people, but definitely want to get to the speaking, because I think the best thing that I do right now is the subculture of an offensive line, and getting those guys to play hard for each other, and just work as a group and a unit. So I definitely want to kind of talk on that. I talked about it a little bit last year, but definitely seeing my guys this year, how much they have really grown together. Because I think from the outside looking in, maybe 2 guys on my offensive line, people be like, oh yeah, give me 2 of those guys. And the rest of them be like, they look like, okay, high school offensive linemen, but we're going to roll and whip some tails. So I think that's just how they have bought in, and kind of like the principles that I've set since I've been here for 3 years kind of come to fruition. And so I think definitely would like to speak on that a little bit. But I think those definitely are the ones. The O-line one and the coordinator one definitely 100% going to happen. And then just little ones throughout the year. Definitely going to be a big off season, working with some other people on some different projects.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we're excited to hear what you got planned out, man. We got some things we're working on too, so we'll have to talk to you all fair. See if we can't get some things worked out. But
all right, Coach, if you could pick any coach to clinic with, regardless of level, social status, whatever they are, who do you think the coach you'd love to sit down? And I guess this could be past legends also, and current legends. Who do you think you'd want to sit down with?
Gus Malzahn.
Oh yeah,
no brainer. Gus Malzahn, that's my guy. And I wish that Florida State was still doing, like, they started off so hot. I wish they were still doing hot, but I watch every Florida State game. My wife's family are Florida State fans, and so we watch them, and I'm just like, dude, Gus Malzahn is the GOAT. I love his offense. I love what he did when he was coaching high school, and I talk to people from that Arkansas area that still knew him back then, trying to just get nuggets. And then obviously, everywhere he's been. And I'll go watch the 2010, Auburn season with Cam.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, or even 13 with Nick Marshall, like that.
Yes.
Like
Fast and Furious.
When you talk about, in my opinion, taking lesser talent and making the most out of it based off of an offense. Like, Nick Marshall, great player, great athlete, but he was not throwing that thing down the field.
You've seen the H-back? He's like the little guy, number 47 in the 2013 film.
Yes.
He's like blocking Packer against Clemson, and he got 4 division first round draft picks. So there's wild.
So they're making it happen. So I definitely I love that. And then I just throw one out real quick because I'm such a counter guy. I would say Lincoln Riley. And just talk counter, just talk the different variations of counter, and when he wants to call them, and what's his thought process on getting them all installed. And I know they're a D1 school, so I got time, but getting different looks and formations, and all his unbalanced stuff that he does with counter.
Love it.
Jamie, who you got?
Oh man, I was gonna ask you, man.
I'm ready. I know who I want.
Yeah, go ahead, man. You do it,
guys.
Saban.
Nick Saban. No doubt. There's no doubt.
You did the hands.
Oh, yeah.
So it's funny. So our quarterback's name is Jarrell. And so we always bring up that clip. It's like, Jarrell, run it again. It's cut.
It's cut. It's cut.
We'll do that. But we're watching that clip today. But God love the GOAT, man.
Man.
I think Saban. Gosh, that's tough to pass up on that.
It's like, man, and 3 hours is not enough. I want to go stay with Saban in his house.
Mm-hmm.
sit down and eat breakfast with him and Miss Terry, and then me and Coach Saban clinic all day, every day. And it's like, and it's not just one specific thing. Like, he is just a mastermind in everything. It feels like he gets it, man. Like he gets it from a commissioner standpoint, from a fan standpoint, from a player standpoint, from a head coach standpoint, from a technician standpoint. He just, man, I just
He's the
listen
most
to him.
skilled head football coach in all aspects that there has ever been in any sport ever.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you talk about administrative skills, and I'm doing the Nick Saban hands.
I was about to say, I see it.
Yeah.
The administrative skills, right? The recruiting skills, the organizational skills, the leadership skills. He's a great orator. Obviously he's doing the media now. I mean, X's and O's. He's done it all, man.
And he loosens up a little bit with the media. That video of him fighting swords with Pat McAfee, man, that cracks me up.
But, he's got a good personality. It's just, I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm with you. I think,
and he's not scared to speak the truth. Like, man, when Kirby and Sarkisian were sitting there like, oh, yeah, man, I don't really know. We've kept it kind of the same. And he's just sitting there. He's like, well, I don't know who taught them how to be a bullshitter, but these two dudes are filling y'all loads of crap. And it's like they just both lose it, man. He's awesome.
They did the interview with Belichick, and he was like, and Belichick's like, Saban taught me so much, and I've learned so much from him. And he's like, well, I didn't know you were that full of shit.
Yeah.
It was like on game day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay.
But he's great with the media. Like, he's great. Like, even in his pressers, like, he's always trying to speak to his players or speak to people to help them. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like he's a genuine guy. I don't know. I'm the same, man. I don't know who else I'd rather clinic with.
Yeah.
I think his level of process, of process.
Yes.
Right. Like, is over and over, like his meticulous nature. Like, that would, I don't know. I'm not that like process oriented. Like, sometimes, like, hey, I might switch it up here. I might go do this time. And he's just like, no, he's the oatmeal cream pies in the morning. Like, he's going to do
Dr.
this.
Pepper or something.
Yeah. Like, nothing changes. And I feel like that would just drive me crazy. But obviously that's the way you do it, especially at that level for him.
You know who is kind of hot right now, and I don't know. He kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit, but it's Signetti.
Oh, yeah.
There's something about that.
I love him, but he's a jerk.
Like, he believes in himself a lot, and he uses it, and he really rubbed me the wrong way a lot. But man, there's something about him that he's been able to turn around. I know in the portal world, but like, there's something about him too that I think his players they play at an elite level, and they believe in it. And there's something that he's doing there that I just like to know what it is. And because who's going to want to go to Indiana? You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird. There's something going on and maybe it's recruiting. I don't know. Maybe it's finding the diamond in the rough.
I feel like Signetti's level of like confidence and like kind of a jerkish nature. I feel like Lane Kiffin's got some of that, but it's not as like in your face.
But I think he's old school. I think Signetti's more old school. I think he's more like 100%. A Saban and like we're gonna grind hard, we're gonna work hard, we're gonna be physical. There's no BS. I think I'm drawn to those kind of guys more than I'm like maybe more of the new age type coach right now. Yeah. But that's a good one to end it on, man. That's excellent.
It is the GOAT.
The GOAT, man. Saving hands. All right, man. Well, Coach Tatum, it's always a pleasure having you back, man. Best of luck as you guys finish up the season and make a playoff run. Keep running that thing, man.
Oh, yeah.
Likewise. Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on. Good luck this week. It's a tough one for y'all. Like, we were in a tough one early this year, and definitely thought we had a shot and kind of got away from us. But, just lock them in and get to the playoffs, man. We're going to do the same thing. But like I said last time, I always try to, anytime I talk and get in front of some people, I always try to say at least one thing, and that's make sure you're coaching for the kids, guys. That's why we do it. Right? Like I said, Friday now, I'm gonna be a mess, right? I'll be able to coach the game for a minute. I'll be like, I need to just go over here and just get myself together, because I love my guys. So make sure you're doing that. Make some difference in some kids' lives, and do it for the right reasons.
Coach, we appreciate that. We really do. Me and Dustin were talking about that the other day, and the older we get, the more we realize how precious these moments are, and while we're put on this earth. And definitely a calling for all of us. We can definitely hear it when you talk about it, the passion that you have for the game and those kids. I can see you getting a little emotional now just thinking about it, man. That means a lot to us, and there's a lot of toxic stuff in this sport for high school football. And the reason we have you on is because you don't deal with any of that BS, and you're about it for the right reasons. And we just love having you on, man. And guys, please follow Coach Tatum on social media. He does a fantastic job. Make sure you subscribe to all his stuff. And until next time, man, this is Coach Speak, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you guys.
Thanks for tuning into the Coach Speak podcast. If you're interested in being a guest speaker on the show, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at coachspeakpodcast1@gmail.com. And if you have a question for our Q&A segment, don't forget to submit it through the form in the episode description. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.